It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, for me to invite a leader par excellence, Mr. Avinash Gupta, the Managing Director and CEO, India, Dun& Bradstreet. He is an execution-focused senior leader with a strong global background. Currently, he is responsible for Dun& Bradstreet's go-to-market strategy and business operations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Avinash Gupta.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of Dun & Bradstreet at this grand virtual event, the India's Top 500 Companies 2021. I wish to extend my deep appreciation and gratitude to all the distinguished personalities who have graced this occasion, as well as all the participants, partners, and members of the audience. Neeraj has already given you a great perspective on Dun & Bradstreet from a global perspective. I will focus on our India business and the stars of today's conference, the top 500 companies. Dun & Bradstreet began its journey in India approximately 2.5 decades ago. Over these years, Dun & Bradstreet has been chronicling the contribution of India's Indian corporate sector through our premier publication, India's Top 500 Companies since 1997. At that time, India, as you will recall, had just begun charting its course towards becoming one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Over the years, the publication earned the reputation of one of the most credible and comprehensive compendiums on the Indian corporate sector. And of course, the most definitive ranking of large Indian companies. The significance of India's top 500 companies can be measured on many counts. India's top 500 companies represent the driving force of the Indian economy, as they contribute to as much of 16% of India's GDP, nearly 45% of the country's foreign exchange earnings, and around 23% of the gross tax revenues. Over the past 2 decades, while the Indian economy grew at approximately 14 times, the top 500 companies have in fact grown at a faster rate of more than 16-fold. It's been a more than a 16-fold rise in aggregate revenue and 29 times expansion in market capitalization over the same period. 127 companies, interestingly, have consistently featured in all editions of the publication's inception in 1997. Also, let me walk you through an interesting fact that we discovered as the top 500 evolved over the years. The total revenue of the largest and biggest company in the current 21st edition of the publication stands at more than 5.7 trillion rupees. This significantly exceeds the total revenue of all the top 500 companies taken together during the first edition in 1997. This clearly stands as a testimony to the kind of influence corporates have had on aspects like revenue generation, income generation, social upliftment, and generation of livelihoods. This conference is a well-deserved recognition to all you stalwarts over the last 21 years. Now let's look at the central theme of the conference, laying the foundations for an ESG-ready corporate India. While researching for this conference, I read an interesting line which said that to prosper over time, every company must not only deliver financial performance, but also show how it makes a positive contribution to the entire ecosystem. ESG today helps companies to create that positive difference in their day-to-day existence. Globally, the ESG investment theme continues to gain traction. In terms of passive funds, for example, total assets invested in ESG ETFs and ETPs rose to $101 billion as of July last year, 2020, compared to $22 billion as of the end of 2018. This demonstrates clearly that ESG is gaining global impetus, and Indian enterprises must focus also, now more than ever, on integrating sustainability on a priority basis in their long-term objectives. Let me share some data points on what is happening in India. The NSE conducted a survey of some 50 odd top companies in 2020. This survey stated that the Nifty 100 ESG TRI and Nifty 100 Enhanced ESG TRI have delivered 11.3% and 11.5% respectively return per annum since April 2011. And this is, interestingly, 70 basis points and 90 basis points higher than the returns on the Nifty 100, which was approximately 10.6%. Luckily, investors and analysts have started considering the non-financial parameters, both internal and external, to understand the potential impact of these identified parameters on the company's performance and risk exposure to their investment. It is also now clear that investor interest in responsible investing is gaining momentum. This clearly demands for an objective, quantitative analysis of the effect of ESG on the investors' portfolio's performance. Dun & Bradstreet has already begun its journey to support the companies in the ESG initiatives. We have planned some cutting-edge products powered by data, analytics, and AI to help clients survive numerous challenges through the power of better decision-making. Coming back to today and India's top 500 publication, which has seen a series of firsts in this year's edition. To begin with, this year we have included a separate listing of India's premier 150 unlisted companies. This is a tribute to large unlisted companies who, although not being part of the universe of the top 500 companies, play a significant role in economic development of the country. This year's publication also features an additional listing of India's leading 100 ESG performers. And finally, this year, we will be presenting the Dun & Bradstreet Corporate Awards on a digital platform, given sign of times, for the first time ever. All of these come together very nicely in the form of the most credible and fitting tribute to the Indian corporate sector. That is the Dun & Bradstreet Top 500 Companies 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, on a final note, I would like to congratulate all the companies that have been featured in India's Top 500 2021 publication, as well as the award winners. We look forward to your continued participation and patronage in the future. I wish to thank specifically Shri Vivek Debroy, the Chairman, Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister, for taking time out from his busy schedule and gracing the occasion with his presence. I would also like to thank Dr. Krishnamurthy Subramaniam, Chief Economic Advisor, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, for sharing his views. Thank you, distinguished personalities of guests who have graced this virtual event. I look forward to hearing from all of you and sharing your views from the experiences of today. I would also like to thank CtrlS and Cloud4C, in particular Mr. Sridhar, who has been a partner with us in making this event a grand success. A big thank you to our partners, Life Insurance of India, Sodexo, Equity Ratings and Research, NTT Data, and NMDC. I hope you all find today's event insightful and have some valuable takeaways. Wish you a great day and look forward to your valued participation. Thank you so much for your time.